What's it like to create and market a brand new product as a small business? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name's Nicole Willett. I own Breaking Even Communications, which is an online marketing company that's been around for almost 17 years. Now, it's been a really interesting year to run a marketing company, and it's been a very interesting year to run a small business. And if you're either of those things watching this channel, hopefully you're kind of chuckling along with me because running a small business that happens to be a marketing company has been extra interesting for me because, in large part, I think most companies haven't had the kind of revenue that they're used to. Consumers are buying less, their money isn't going as far. And so these companies who need marketing have less money to spend on marketing. And so when they're looking at things they can cut in their budget, oftentimes it involves marketing, in particular if it's an outside marketing provider. And I don't blame them for that. One of my colleagues works for a large agency in New York City, and they cut their hourly rate by 25% this past year. I don't think that my situation is particularly unique, but what it has meant is that over the past year, I've had to sit down and kind of think, how do we keep revenue coming in? How do we reach people that might be at a lower price point than we typically work at? So about 6 months ago, we created Trend to Send as a digital product within our company. I'll get into what it is in a second, but there was kind of two instances that were not at all related to each other that sort of led to this idea. The first was actually, I was recording a reaction video, and there was a portion of the video where the guy was talking about a trend, and I was just really annoyed that he was being so vague about it. I'm just going to put that portion in this video right now so you can see the context. Nothing to post today. Try this, a video of yourself right now, 4 to 6 seconds, add this audio to it, then do what we suggest. So this is what he suggests. So you've done part 1 and 2, now what? The last part is to make a piece of content successful is to now add value. Don't overcomplicate this part. I know from experience, LOL. It used to take me an hour to do just one reel. This past Monday, I created 10 reels in under 15 minutes. I don't know, that seems kind of ridiculous, but okay, now to help you, ask yourself, who is this video for? How can I help them today? Keep it simple. Sound good? Now go recreate this and post it. Was it helpful? Comment heart to do so, then follow me. Here's the thing. So in this thing, he says, okay, take a clip of yourself that's 4 to 6 seconds long and then use the audio. And I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get copyright stricken, but it's like, there's a place I dreamed of. And it's like them playing the guitar, right? So maybe you say, use this sound on the video, right? Where I dreamed of, see caption. And then in the caption, tell people how you have gotten to where you've dreamed of with this network marketing opportunity or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's one thing to say, use this sound and give value. And it's another thing to help people get there with a little bit more direction. I think that would feel more strategic. Now, by not telling people specifically the thing that I just said, right? If someone posts this and it doesn't do well, and someone comments, hey, I did this and it didn't do well, he could say, you were supposed to give them value in the caption and you didn't. And here's the thing, specific advice isn't always going to work, but it is going to help people do the thing that you want them to theoretically do. So after I recorded that video, I kept thinking about it and I was just like, all these people who list trends or say like, oh, use this trending audio and give value. What does that mean? Like, why can't they give examples? There's so many of these influencers that are just like, here's a trending audio. And unless you're somebody who's sort of familiar with making reels or TikToks, you might not have the comfort level to think of an idea with that little information. Maybe a month later, I was teaching a workshop about making reels and TikToks with the Saranac Lake Chamber of Commerce. We get people in a room and we get people sort of like practicing filming, using things like Bluetooth microphones, tripods, recording content, and then getting comfortable editing their content within CapCut. And so about 2 slides of this whole presentation is me talking about the idea of trending videos as content. And this idea that there are these trends going around at any given moment. It's almost like a video meme that people are deciding to participate in. And so somebody asked the very logical question, how do you find the trends? And I didn't know how to answer them. I see them all the time and I have ideas about them. And then I thought, how would I make this a process? Like, how would I explain how to do this? After these two instances, I thought, I could do this better. I have ideas about it. But just like when you have what you think is an original idea, the best first thing to do is do your own market research and see what else is out there. So, in terms of what else is out there, one of the things is basically joining an online community or an online course about, TikTok or Instagram or whatever. One of the ones I'm thinking of is called Insta Club Hub, and it's by Brett and Shalene Johnson, who we've reviewed on this channel before a couple of times each. And the thing is, if you wanted to learn a bunch of stuff about Instagram, like that's fine. There's, videos about what's new on the platform, how to edit your videos, or how to write a good caption or find hashtags and things like that. And I think that that's fine, but obviously it involves a fair bit of learning on your part. And so you're paying $49 to basically access a bunch of information that you could probably get if you subscribe to Instagram on social media and email, and maybe a couple of social media email newsletters, to be completely honest with you. If you want to just do Instagram, that's fine. But if you want to do something that can work on multiple platforms, joining a community around a specific platform where you have to learn a lot probably isn't ideal. Now, another kind of what's already out there thing is email lists. So if you wanted to subscribe to an email list that would send you the top 10 trending audios on TikTok every single day, I'm sure it's out there. I know there's definitely those for Instagram. And then what you have to do, obviously, as the emails come in, is you have to click on the links, see some examples of the trends, say it like, okay, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? And then once you go through the TikTok ones, you have to say, oh, I wonder if there's any of these that match up on Instagram. And the thing is, if you're only looking at the top 20 or whatever on each platform, odds are that there'll be the exact same trending audio in the top 20 on both platforms at the same time is slim to none. So if you wanted to grow your audience on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, for example, you would want to find trends that were working across all three of those. And you would have to subscribe to at least 3 email lists to do that. Something else that's out there is there are tons of social media accounts that will show you cool editing things. Oh, do you like the way this looks? Here's how you do it in CapCut. And those accounts are great. And I personally appreciate those because they've really upped my video editing game. But unless you know what you want to talk about, unless you know what you want to do, you don't really know what to look for about that. It's kind of like you're learning kind of some more advanced techniques at that point when you just want to get good at posting regular content that's going to be seen by people on your social media channels. So this might be something you appreciate, but it's not quite solving our problem here. Now, another thing that already exists are video editing services. So Be Creatives is one that I've talked about in a previous video, and their kind of lower end price point is $800 a month. And in that, they can do one short form video, aka under 90 seconds per day. But it seems like there's also a 2 to 3 day turnaround for those. And obviously, if you are sending them the content, you have to be the one kind of coming up with ideas and then giving them feedback based on their edits. So you're acting like the project manager. And that $800 a month price point feels out of reach, I think, to a lot of small businesses. And finally, in terms of stuff that already exists, there are these optimization services. And chances are, if you're somebody who regularly creates content, you have probably gotten a cold email from one of these companies basically saying, hey, your content's great. We could help more people see it. And I'm guessing that's a combination of things like, optimizing your titles and captions and hashtags, and maybe also buying some ads. I'm guessing it combines those two things. Basically, you're making the content and you're having these services help more people see it, but it doesn't really address the whole trending video thing either. After all that research, I figured that this trending video idea was good and that there wasn't other people addressing it the way I wanted to address it. Then I thought, okay, what components does this include? How do I want to make people feel? Who is this product for? And this is what I came up with. This service would be for small business owners specifically. Not to say that influencers couldn't use it, but that if I was already chronically online, I probably already had ideas about the trends anyway. I would look for audio that was usable by business accounts, that had examples that small businesses were using, and that the ideas would feel really applicable to small businesses who wanted to do more video marketing. Now, a group of people that I've always wanted to work with and could never figure out how to do it is the kind of business owner that wants the ultimate creative control of their marketing content, but maybe also needs some ideas about it. The thing is, when most businesses hire a marketing company, they are at the point where they might have one or two ideas, but in general, as the marketing company, you are coming up with a lot of them based on, hey, we need to move more water heaters this month. Hey, we want to really highlight our Black Friday sales. Hey, we really want to talk about this event we have coming up in the middle of December. By knowing that, we're kind of creating content around that. But I have a certain kind of business owner, and I know they want to keep the control over their stuff, but also they don't know what to do. I thought this would be perfect because they get the idea. And if they wanted to, they'd be able to execute it entirely by themselves, or they could kick it back to us to do the editing if they didn't want to do that part. That was a person I definitely wanted to serve. Now, another thing, and I don't see these people generally considered with marketing, is how would I feel as a middle-aged person doing this? When most people think about social media, they think of 20-something beautiful influencers. And the reality is that most of us who own businesses are not beautiful 20-something influencers. We're beautiful in our own way. But if I see something, I can pass it through that filter before sending it on to business owners. There are some things I see that are like too cutesy or like too sexy or too like overly edgy. And I just am like, no. So I want to be that filter because I don't really see that filter a lot of places, if anywhere else. Another thing is that I want whatever I send to feel very doable. I will point out things like, so this is 2 shots. The first shot is going to be like this, and the second shot is going to be like this. And then I will film a version of the trend myself, and I will time how long it takes me to show that it is doable. And oftentimes when I film these trends, it's 5 minutes. And if I was going to add the editing in, maybe it would be another 10 minutes, but probably less. So the whole thing should theoretically take 15 minutes in my mind. I want, when I send somebody something, for it to feel very doable. And since every marketing person ever is going to tell you not to put all your eggs in one marketing basket, my goal is to find something that I think is going to work across Instagram and TikTok, and ideally also YouTube. The idea is that someone can film one video and they have links to the trending audio on 3 platforms. And when they go to post it, it will work on all 3 of those platforms. I want to have people do the work once and be able to use it multiple times to have it be effective for their business. The other thing that I really wanted was for this service to be affordable. Our lowest price point is $49 a month to get the texts and the links. If you think about it, that ends up being, if you post only to one platform, those 8 videos, it ends up being a little over $6 per video. If you post it to TikTok and Instagram, suddenly it's around $3 per video. So it's very affordable. Another thing, obviously, is convenience. So we have this service as a text message. I thought about doing it as an email, but the reason we settled on text is that most people are filming things directly from their phone. And so if they got the idea as a text message, they'd be able to watch the idea straight from their phone, record it. And then since all the trending audio links would be in the text message, they would be able to click on them, go right into the platform for posting. Very convenient was the idea. Also, for those who are sending us videos to edit, we had to create a process that was seamless to make sure that they could easily send us multiple video clips at the same time, that they could, if they had ideas to go with them, like certain text they wanted overlaid or something, they'd be able to put that in the form. But obviously we didn't want to make the form too long, so easy to fill out on a phone. And finally, the service is actually pretty Gen Z friendly. A lot of our retail clients have younger people who are working in their stores, and they want to let them do some of the marketing, but they also want some control over it. So by sending the idea, they understand that there's some parameters and can use their creativity to post around the idea, which gives the business owner some sense of sort of control and strategy, while also giving the employee that's filming the content and posting it the creative freedom as well. How this service works is Twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, those who are subscribed get a text message that looks like what's on your screen right now. And so in that text message is a link to a YouTube video where I explain the trend and show examples of the trend. And then there is links to all of the trending audio across Instagram, TikTok, and if I could find it on YouTube as well. So they can just click through and get those. Here is what a sample video looks like. Hey everyone, it's Nicole's Trend to Send. Here is today's trend.
I love your daughter. What do you have to offer? Nothing. Only this.
What's that supposed to be about, baby? Girl, free up your mind, stop acting crazy.
I love your daughter. What do you have to offer? Nothing. Only this.
What's that supposed to be about, baby? Girl, free up your mind, stop acting crazy. You know I give it a good.
I love your daughter. What do you have to offer? Nothing. Only this.
What's that supposed to be about, baby? Girl, free up your.
So as you can see with this trend, if you want to dance, you can. But I included examples specifically that didn't involve dancing because the idea with this trend is that you're showing what you can offer. So, what do you have to offer? Basically this. And you could show, products, services, that kind of thing related to your business. Now, I've seen this trend going around for about a week and it's really popped off on TikTok in particular the last couple of days. So that's why we're jumping on it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the lip sync at the beginning and then I'm going to show what we have to offer. So here's me filming the trend. And here is the final edit of the trend.
I love your daughter. What do you have to offer? Nothing. Only this.
What's that supposed to be about, baby? Girl, free up your mind, stop acting crazy.
So that's today's trend. I hope you take this trend and make it your own. If you do, please tag us on social media so that we know you've posted and can help augment your reach. And if you're in our Pro or our Plus subscribers, please upload your clips to the link on your screen by the day and time on your screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next trend. And then in terms of what the trending audio links go to, you'll see a page that looks like this on Instagram, like this on TikTok, or like this on YouTube. And as you see, since you're clicking on it on your phone, there is a button that says like use sound or use audio or something like that. That makes it really easy to attach the trending audio. Now, this whole thing is a labor of love, but I thought it would be helpful to show you what goes into this. 3 times a week, sometimes 4, I have sessions. I start with Instagram because honestly, Instagram is the most picky platform in terms of trends. And I make sure I'm logged into one of my business accounts. And then I go through the Reels section and find trends. So here is one of those sessions. Okay, so it's evening and this is the perfect lying in bed activity. Oh, I haven't heard this one yet. Let's check it out. Okay, it's trending. Awesome. That works even better. I'll copy the link and I'm going to message it to myself in Slack because this is the only thing I message to myself. So I'm going to put in, I got to call it something, and then the link, and then how many uses it has, and the fact that it's trending now because my Slack messages have a timestamp. So that'll be a helpful reference later. Let's keep going.
This part of my life is...
I mean, maybe. Original audio. Okay, though, it is trending, so I'm going to save it. I just wish they'd call the audio something besides original audio. So I'm just going to call it guitar for now, just so I can call it something. I usually don't find 2 trending ones in a row, so this is like pretty good luck. Let's keep going. I try to find 4 to 5 before I close out. I've already seen this one before. I've already used this one as a trend. This is an ad. I've seen this one. It's so corny. This is also a little bit too corny for me.
Beautiful.
And that's only applicable for e-commerce businesses, so I skipped that. This is about editing. Oh, this was a trend this past week. This was a trend in the past already.
Need to keep up with what's trending on social.
Okay. Oh no, I'm falling in love. Okay, I haven't heard this one before. Okay, that's a pretty good amount of uses. A lot of these that I passed over are stuff that I've already heard before, so, you know, why use it again? So, I'm just putting in some lyrics here so I remember what this was. And, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this one.
Your last post got 500 views.
Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm searching for love. I'm recently single.
This is a little too corny.
And I'm looking. Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm searching for love.
Also, 12 uses. I've already used that one.
Shut up. This video is sponsored by Fitbit.
I don't like this one because it's like, what are you doing? And it's a lot of nosy people. Also, this little heart thing and then putting the product in. That's a little corny for me. I've already used that audio.
Day in the life of an introverted dog mom. I'm awoken at the crack of dawn.
Oh, I think this is already on my list, actually.
Oh my god!
This is also kind of corny. Also, it's e-commerce specific. I've already saved that audio. Oh. Oh, this is interesting. Haven't heard this one before. Oh, it's trending. Oh, that's interesting. When I clicked on it, it like changed the amount of uses. I've seen this one before, and it only applies to businesses with a physical location. Yeah. I feel like we just heard the same audio for 2 trends in a row. Yeah, I don't know. Kanye West is a little problematic. I've already done this as a trend. Another ad.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
When it's too like, and this is just obviously content idea.
And over here we have the people that follow.
Oh, come on. You don't need to nag people. We already did that trend. I don't know. I'm considering this one for a future one already.
Shut.
The whole shut up thing, I wasn't sure. We've already used this one as a trend.
And with that, the 2024 season.
It's not quite the end of the year yet, so I'm going to skip that one. And I'm having a whole like Christmas / holiday list. So I'm probably going to just save this one for that page. This way, if people want to do some additional ones, they can. And I'll just save them all on a page on the Trend to Send website versus using this as an actual trend. I think that'll work better. But I'll put the number of uses anyway, just in case I want to track that.
1, 2, 3,
I'm already tracking that one. This is more of an editing thing. And I'm already tracking this one, actually. Pop music. Yeah, I remember this. I already tracking that one too. I've seen that one go by a bunch of times. Again, this is... You see how it repeats after a while?
The songs on the radio are okay.
I have already done that one. I think we've already done this one.
The Soleil Microsculpting Cream.
XOXO. Gossip.
Oh, more Christmas stuff. So we can save this one. I'm looking for stuff that is useful by businesses that isn't too corny or that isn't too specific to a kind of business. All right, so I think that's enough for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow morning. As you see, I do this as a before bed activity. The next morning when I'm at the office, I update my spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is like something that makes me so happy. I wasn't sure if I was neurodivergent until I started maintaining this spreadsheet. So here is how that spreadsheet gets updated. All right, so it's the next day, and what I'm going to do is add these to my spreadsheet and update the counts because these are new audios. I'm going to add these 3 new ones into my spreadsheet and see how the counts changed from last night to this morning. And I'm putting these 2 Christmas ones under a separate holiday list for people to pick from. So I moved my Slack to another tab. Chromatic violins. Copy the link. And what I'm going to do if it's going, I'm going to find the TikTok one as well. It was at 15,700 last night. Let's take a look at what it is now. Okay, 18,600. So what's nice about Google Sheets is that it'll keep track of every change that I've made in here. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one. All right, so let's just call this one guitar. I just have to call them something for now. And this was at 12,800 last night. And actually both of these were trending. So I'm just going to put was trending on IG 11, 12, 24. And I'll just was trending the same time. So there we go. All right. So it was 12,800. Let's see what it is now. Okay. 13,000. So it didn't grow as much. So I have a feeling that one was going to be a quicker one. And then this one I'm calling, oh no, I'm falling in love. And that was at 62,900. Let's see where it is now. 63,000. Okay. You see how some trends are like definitely like happening? Like this one seems to be more happening. And the thing is, sometimes there's something really cool that's going on one platform that just isn't happening on the other. So for example, this Amelie sound, it's really going off on Instagram. Like it increased by a fair bit. Actually, let's see what the version history is. Show edit history. So it went from 172 to 196,000 in the last 2 days, but there's only 935 uses on TikTok. And I think it was at 800 and something before, if I remember. Yeah. So what I'm looking for is trends that are continuing to trend. I'm looking for cross-platform stuff. Now that I've gotten this stuff in the spreadsheet, my next thing is to find these audios on TikTok. And what I'll end up doing is seeing if I can find the original artist. So in this case, it's just called original audio, which is super not helpful. But it's at ddaria.st. And what I'm going to do is see if I can find ddaria.st on TikTok. And I find that this search goes better on a mobile device. So I'm not going to do it for you and show you how bad it is on desktop. But I find finding audio in general easier to do on a mobile device. I'm going to look for that creator and I'm going to see if I can find this particular audio. And what I do is if I can't find it in like 10 minutes, I just give up, to be completely honest with you. If it's that hard to find, like there's so many other contenders here. And what I've done is I've kind of narrowed down the ones I'm considering for today. And based on if I can find this third one on TikTok, I'm going to look at these examples, see if I can find some business uses, see if I can see some interesting ideas, and I'm going to pick one of them based on that. I do a similar process with TikTok and with YouTube, but you get the idea. And by doing this across platforms multiple times a week, I'm able to see real-time data changes that these platforms never publish. And if you wanted to go ahead and do this, you can, but I can assure you it takes hours every week, which I love doing, but I understand most people probably don't. For a majority of trends that we don't end up using, most of them end up leveling off. I move them to another tab of my spreadsheet called Slow Grow. And what Slow Grow is it's just a cute kind of fun idea. Maybe we want to record a video with a client in the future for it. Maybe we just want to remember it as an idea. Maybe we like the music. Either way, it's in an accessible place. We can find it later by putting it in this Slow Grow tab. And I have some tabs in the spreadsheet that I don't share, but I keep for our clients. So for example, one of them is multiple people. I'm assuming that most businesses who subscribe to a service like Trend to Send might only have one or two people in the whole company. And so what I don't want to do is I don't want to send a trend that involves 6 people or 4 people or something like that. But some of those trends are kind of cool. So I just save them. And when we're on site with a client and we have a group of people who want to do something, I pull out one of the group trends and it's ready to go. For the first 2 months, I just made the videos and sent them to Ben and Jessica for them to critique. I wanted to make sure that the text messages were going through. I wanted to make sure that the how-to videos were long enough to be helpful, but short enough to be watchable. I wanted to make sure that, the links were working okay. And by the way, like the feedback I got from Ben and Jessica allowed me to take the instructional videos from close to 5 minutes to closer to 2.5 to 3 minutes. And once I felt like the content was good enough, we had a group of people beta test the product for 1 month. So we gave them a free membership and we had them do an intake form. Now, only half of the beta testers filled out the after part, unfortunately. And something I didn't think to ask them was about reach, which I should have done. I asked them about followers. I asked them how often a week they posted. I asked them about how many interactions they had on their content. I did not ask them about reach. So the only pretty solid data that I got from this beta testing group is that the average account grew by 6% over the course of the 30 days. And what I found was that their interaction went down. And what I think is happening, but I don't know, is that because they were doing videos and they were reaching people who weren't followers of their account, that less people were interacting. So it was reaching more people, but it was reaching people who weren't tied to that business. Again, I'm kicking myself. You live and you learn. So once I had real people go through it, we had one person who wasn't able to get the text, but we figured that out. And we figured some other things out as well about our process. And then we were ready to start selling it to people. Probably we started doing this early August. We launched the Trend to Send website, which is a separate website from the marketing company. And on that website, we just talk about short format videos and the idea of trending videos in general. And so the FAQ section has gotten pretty robust. My goal is to add to it at least once every couple of weeks with questions people have, whether it's about how to do a certain kind of edit or, what this term means, that kind of thing. I want there to be useful content on there so that people online could happen upon it as well and feel like they were learning something and maybe stick around a bit. We also started social media. We have a separate Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok account for Trend to Send, and we're trying to post to those 2 to 3 times a week because obviously we do a lot of social media content for other people and just getting the idea out there about trending videos. So we've posted now 42 of these trends, which means at 2 a week. We've been doing this a little over 5 months. I just had to pull out a calculator for that one. Now, let's talk a little bit about the results that people are seeing because it is so new. Currently, we have 3 paying customers and, people seem to really like it. Vicky gave me permission to post this text message. She's one of our Trend to Send people and she appreciates us not just for the ideas, but for collaborating with her. And to me, this is a high compliment because Vicky used to work at MTV. So she was literally in video production. It's a high compliment getting that from her. But besides touchy-feely things about marketing, let's talk about results because I think that's important too. Vicky's actually a great example. And so what I'm going to do is put on the screen her stats for her normal reels versus the Trend to Send ones. She has a marketing person in-house and that person posts 1 to 2 reels a week. And then she also is posting these Trend to Send reels, of which she's posted about half the ones that we've sent her. So not even all of them. And so if we look at the average views, the average likes, and the average comments for those reels, we see that the Trend to Send ones get way more views. They get an almost equal amount of likes and they get more comments. Now, will this translate to actual sales? I hope so. And maybe Vicky will tell me after the holidays kind of how these are going. But In short, I think we can see that the trending videos are a nice complement to add even to someone who does regular marketing work. Something I have to keep reminding myself is that this service is so new and people genuinely don't understand what it is. So I have to explain things over and over and over again. Just like I did at the beginning of my business when people didn't know what social media marketing was. I had that conversation hundreds of times. And so now I'm having this trending video conversation. I'm probably going to have it hundreds of times. And I got to just psych myself up for that. One way to have conversations at scale is to do workshops and webinars. And I've been doing more of those kind of in the second half of 2024 here. I've had 2 in-person workshops and I have done 2 webinars that were specifically about trending videos. So my goal is when I'm, talking to a room full of people to at least mention it and let people go to the website and learn more about it. I'm going to give more workshops in the future that tie both the Breaking Even audience and the Trend Ascend audience together. At the beginning of 2025 in January, I'm going to do a sort of advanced CapCut workshop where I talk about things like keyframes and color grading and those kind of more advanced features that, people who've been editing their own videos for a while might want to get to. And I'm hoping maybe a couple of those people might be interested in the service, but I understand that it's going to take time for this service to get traction, but based on the results people are getting and the feedback I've been getting from people who've tried it, I think that it's a solid idea. So this service isn't making us a ton of money right now, but I think it is filling an important gap that we've always had. About 10 years ago, we wrote a blog post on our website about our sales goblet, which is basically the fact that we had kind of these lower price point items like our workshops that were, 25 or $50. And then we had our paid services. And then there was kind of nothing in that in between level. So I think Trend Ascend could kind of make our marketing goblet a little bit more of a marketing funnel. See, wasn't that animation cute? I know, right? If you come to the advanced workshop, I'll show you how to do something like that. If you are a small business and revenue-wise, the last year has lightly kicked your butt too, if you are thinking of something in your business that's been a problem for your clients and there's some like dedicated sort of service that you can package together to solve it, I think now is a really good time to do it. Because as people are being more careful with their dollars, if they know what they're getting and they know what they're going to pay, I think that's going to be worth a lot, especially in this coming year. Because even though it takes a while to educate people on something, it's kind of humbling, frustrating, interesting to be at that, 0 point again. But at the same time, I am having a ton of fun with this service. And I think it is useful in the marketplace, which is very validating. So yeah, that's how we developed a brand new product for our business that didn't involve developing an app or coming up with a brand new technology that didn't exist before. Basically, it is seeing a problem and coming up with a methodology and using feedback to improve it over time. Thanks so much for watching. If you have some feedback on this video, you can leave it as a comment below, or if you're more shy, you can use the contact form of the breakingeveninc.com website or the contact form on the Trend Ascend website. They both go to the same place, which is me. And if you want to keep in touch and see what happens 1 year into Trend Ascend, so 6 months from now, how things are going, you can follow wherever you're watching this now, or you can subscribe to our monthly email newsletter, breakingeveninc.com/newsletter. Thanks so much for following me on my small business journey. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.